All right, we're going to finish up our unit on Europe. This is page 4. The term ethnic cleansing, policy of trying to eliminate an ethnic group through violence. So we could say this is what Hitler tried to do. Other groups throughout the world have tried this on certain ethnic groups. I think with Hitler it was considered genocide, trying to completely eliminate a racial group. Probably 25 years ago, I'm not sure exactly when it would have been, but in Africa there was a civil situation, ethnic groups, the Tutsis, and I can't remember the other group, but hundreds of thousands, if not a few million, were killed because of the racial and ethnic situation going on there. Again, unfortunate that as human beings we do that to each other. So we go back in history a little bit. We have the EEC, which is the European Economic Community, also known as the Common Market, and then the EC, European Community, and that was from 1956 to about 1986. And you can see some of the countries there, the European Economic Community in the dark blue, and then other countries that joined later. The EEC and the ECSC had merged together. Then today it's the EU, or the European Union, that replaced the EC. So on this map we can see the European Union member states. A couple of things to note. Since this picture was put on here, the United Kingdom, Great Britain, has voted to leave the European Union. They called it Brexit. But anyway, Norway and some of the former Yugoslavian countries on the Balkan Peninsula are not part of the European Union. And then I also want to make note to the students about Switzerland. You know, the European Union, that's a great thing economically, but again, they stay out of it. They don't want to be a part of anything where they're in support of any other country. They want to just do their own thing. And again, economically, they're doing very well and it works for them. Common European values. They value the past. The family is the center of their lives. They have a great respect for education. So again, they have a great history and love for family. Very well educated. Europeans are among the world's best educated. So the ability to read and write. Finland, I think, is one of the higher ones at maybe 99%. So just a great interest and concern about being educated. Areas with high population density share the following characteristics. So they have a favorable climate. It's a plains region where they can farm and build homes. They have fertile soil, mineral resources, and inland waterways. We talked about that North European plain, okay, going up here across there with the fertile soil and the flat plains area. So these are the characteristics where people are living. You can also see in the darker colors, especially this one's the Netherlands, where the most people would be living per square mile. So, okay, Europe has 5 of the world's top 10 manufacturing nations. Again, I'm just going to guess here. I don't have a list in front of me. France, Great Britain, Germany, Italy, Norway, Sweden, a couple of those Scandinavian countries. Could be others. And the European Union has a greater volume of trade than any one country. So as that group that we looked at previously, again, they're not very large countries, 6th smallest continent, but collectively they have done very well. So they have more volume of trade than Canada or the United States or Japan, for example. Okay, more Europeans earn a living from farming than any other single economic activity. So some students hear this and think that, you know, there's got to be at least 50% of the people in Europe working in agriculture. No, that's not the case. There are more people involved in agriculture than any other job. So it might be 5% of the people out of all of Europe working in agriculture, but there's no other job that has more than that. All the other jobs would be lower than that number. So, and I'm sure it's more than just the growing of crops. It might be food processing, shipping, anything related to that. Heavy industry, these are interesting terms here. So you've got heavy industry versus light industry. Heavy industry is machinery and equipment that's been built to be used in factories and mines, possibly into in agriculture. Light industry, textiles, or food processing. So the way I usually describe this is heavy industry, you're making something that is going to be turned around and used in another industry. Whereas light industry, what you produce or make is kind of the end product. And then I always talk about this piece of equipment here. It's a big, basically a big drill bit. It rotates, digs into the earth. I'm sure this is what they used to build the Channel Tunnel between France and Great Britain. So, some of the world's most fertile and productive farmland can be found in Europe, as we talked about before. Much of the world's wine is produced in Southern Europe. I mentioned this to the students that if they were in Europe, it might be common for them at dinner time to just have a glass of wine. I'm not saying I'm trying to promote drinking alcohol, but that might be a common thing, especially if they were not members of the LDS Church. But anyway, it's kind of an interesting thing. Also, there's been studies that because of this consumption of wine, just a very moderate amount, they're saying that maybe some of the cholesterol that comes from the milk and cheese and dairy products that they consume, that it kind of counteracts that a little bit. France, the UK, Italy, Poland, and Germany are among the world's leaders in manufacturing, specifically steel and automobiles. So had to throw in a few fancy cars there. So a lot of manufacturing. These cars are well known throughout the world. Many of them here in the United States. We talk about the Autobahn, and that's why some of these German cars, that's why they're made, so they can travel fast on the Autobahn. And that finishes up page 4 and our unit on Europe. Thank you.